Today we're going to talk about what diastasis recti is and who gets it and what we can do about it. Hi everyone and welcome to Joyful Living. My name is Linda and I'm a personal trainer and also a certified mama tummy trainer, as we call it here in Sweden. So today I want to talk to you about what diastasis recti is and who gets it and what we can do about it, and some exercises that might help you. So first and foremost, what is diastasis recti? It is a muscle separation of your rectus abdominis, which is called the six-pack. So that is when your linea alba, like the line here in the middle, it gets weakened. The connective tissue gets weakened because the baby needs to grow inside your belly. So that gets weakened and your abdominal muscles start separating in order to give room for the baby to grow. This also happens to people who are quite overweight. So it makes room by separating the abdominal muscles, and the connective tissue here in the middle is stretching out and weakens. And what a diastasis recti is often talked about being 3 centimeters width between the abdominal muscles, which is about 2 fingers width. But that's not actually what's most important when measuring a diastasis recti. I will tell you a little bit more why that is and how to measure in a little bit. All women get muscle separation during pregnancy. Everyone pretty much gets that. And that's normal. And we all have a separation from start, a really small one. It's under 0.5 centimeter. So it's normal to have some muscle separation. And also, after giving birth, our bodies often within 8 weeks self-heal. So the muscles start growing together again after about, or within these 8 weeks. For some people that doesn't happen. You still have a separation, and some people have 3 centimeters, others have more. You can have 3 or 4 fingers width that you can fit into between the muscles. Those who normally get diastasis recti are those who either carry twins or triplets or quadruplets or whatever, like more kids than just one, or those who carry a big child, like that weighs a lot when it comes out. And also if you've had kids that are born quite close to each other because your body hasn't been able to repair itself completely. You also get this if you have a really bad posture, that can affect whether you get it, because if you walk like this all the time and hunch your back, you put a lot of pressure on your belly, which makes your organs kind of push to the front, which pushes the muscles so that they separate as well. And of course, if you're overweight, that's gonna do harm too. What are some of the symptoms that you get when you have a diastasis recti? Well, a lot of people suffer from back pain, belly pain. It's also very common to suffer from bloating. Most people wake up with a flat tummy, but towards the end of the day, it bloats more and more because your organs and your bowel kind of start to rummage around more and take more space. So that pushes to the front of the belly, and if you don't have a strong core, that's gonna separate your muscles more and make you look bloated. Some women describe themselves as looking pregnant in this condition. So you may also suffer from constipation, and oftentimes you have a bad posture because you don't have that stable core to hold you up. So you might be really hunched over, you might feel like you don't have the energy to straighten, and you could get a lot of back pain because you don't have the muscles to stabilize around here. So something for you to think about is to actually just move more to get that blood flowing in your body. Also, make sure that you think about your posture in your everyday life, not just when you work out, but all the time. Like down with your shoulders, back with them a little bit. Make sure that your pelvis isn't tilted front or back or just neutral. And now we're going to talk about how to measure your diastasis recti. Okay, I'm now down on the floor. I'm going to show you how to measure a diastasis recti. The first thing you need to do is by placing your feet, just like I have here, on the floor and your knees pointing up. I'm not going to show you my belly because some people find that a little bit uncomfortable, seeing it naked skin. So I'm just going to show you through my shirt. And what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 fingers at first, and you're going to measure both the depth and the width of this diastasis recti. So 2 fingers, then you're going to lift your head slightly with your shoulder blades still on the floor. So just a little bit, and then you're going to take your fingers down from your pubic bone up to your bone up here. And you're going to feel your way up there to see like how deep is it? Like, can you feel some resistance here? Or is it just like a big hole? So right here you can measure. Okay, here's my depth. You go along the muscles, the abdominal muscles. You put point a finger here, and then you measure from the deepest point to where you have your finger, and then you can see your starting point, like how deep is your diastasis. And now we're going to measure how wide your diastasis is, and you do the same thing. You take your fingers. Sometimes it can be completely closed up here and down here, and you might have like 2 or 3 or 4 fingers width along like the belly region or the belly button region, and sometimes it might be closed down here, but you have a wide gap down here and up here. So it can be different. It doesn't have to be the same width along the lineal line. So I want you to measure how wide is your diastasis up here, how wide is your diastasis down here, and also down here. And you can do the same with the depth. Like you take your fingers, maybe it's 2 fingers wide, then you take and you measure your fingers. Maybe it's 3 fingers wide, then you measure 3 fingers, and maybe it's 3 fingers with along your belly button. Maybe it's 1 finger down here and 1 finger up here. Write down your results and what you get, and then what you do is also again up slightly, shoulder blades on the ground, and then I want you where it's at its widest and deepest. I want you to place your fingers, and then slowly you're gonna put your head back, and you might feel that space widens as you do so, and that's a way to also measure your diastasis when you're relaxed. And that's also important to note, because like when we flex our biceps, we also flex our abdominal muscles while doing this. So we also need to know, like in rest, what is your width and what is your depth, because that's important to go on further and to see results as well. So that's kind of how you measure. If I'm unclear in any way, please ask questions like down in the comments, because I'm happy to help you answer anything that I might not be clear with, or if you don't understand how I measure, or if you can't see properly from this angle. What we're going to talk about now is what all this means. How do you interpret the measurements from what you just did when you measured your diastasis? What's often considered as a diastasis recti is if you have 3 centimeters width or more, and that's about 2 fingers width. But also it's shown more and more that the depth is what's important to measure, because if it's really deep, if you feel like you can reach all the way down, like to your organs, that's a sign that you have a diastasis recti as well, because your connective tissue along linea alba is so stretched out that it's hard for your muscles to connect to each other and actually be of help. So the depth, if you feel like there's no stop, you really need to work on this, because then you are most likely to get a back pain and stomach pain and bloating and stuff like that, and maybe you already suffer from this. But like the width, it's oftentimes considered 3 centimeters wide, 2 fingers width. That being said, some people who have 3 centimeters width have no problems at all with anything, while others have a lot of problem, a lot of pain, and that mostly have to do with the depth. They have a big depth. Consider that when you're also measuring. And I want you to write these numbers down, because I want you to be able to see that you're progressing. It's really important to feel that you're getting somewhere while doing this. Now I'm going to talk about what exercises might be good for you, and some things for you to think about. And one thing to note is when you're sleeping and are about to get up in the morning, most people, they get up like this and they get a pyramid shaped form here, which means that you're pushing your organs and everything towards your weak muscles and worsening this diastasis. So a way to get up in the morning to actually be more gentle to this area, if you have problems, is to first put your feet down like this, and then you turn on your side, and then you sit up like this, because that's going to be gentle on your stomach, and that's a great way for you to get up. Also, if you sit slouched down like this in the couch, or a lot of people sit like this and sit with their computer like this in the couch, most people just get up like this, and that's also going to put a great strain on your muscles. So think about pushing yourself up with the help of your arms first. And I mean, you don't have to do this forever, but just until you have a really strong core to not worsen this problem. Also, I often talk about like planks and stuff like that. Be aware that a plank puts a lot of pressure down on your belly, and that can worsen your condition as well as doing crunches. That just also puts a lot of pressure on your abdominal muscles that you might not be ready for. Here's a really good exercise for you, because it's really gentle and you can do it like from start, from when your baby's born. So what you do is you place your knees a bit up like this, and what you're gonna do is just like let your belly hang loose, really loose, just relax. No one's watching you, so don't care about what your belly looks like or anything like that. And then you're gonna take help of your pelvic floor, and you're actually gonna draw that in, and then you're gonna go up here and imagine you're lifting this loose skin that's hanging here, lifting it up towards your belly button, while you're also doing a pelvic floor exercise at the same time. And then you're gonna hold this for about 10 seconds, and then you're gonna slowly relax first your belly and just hang it out, and then you're gonna relax your pelvic floor as well. And then you take a deep breath and you do that again. First, you're gonna do the pelvic floor, draw everything in and up, down here, and then you're gonna imagine as if you're lifting this loose skin up towards your belly button, and then you're gonna hold it for 10 seconds. And don't worry if you're not able to hold it for 10 seconds, because this is really hard work. You're gonna find these muscles first and foremost, and that's really hard in the beginning. And then you let loose, and do this two times on each side every day in the beginning. You can also do it lying on your back. Do the same thing here, kind of tilt your pelvis so that you push your back down in the mat, on the mat. So this is where you're just gonna draw in your belly and squeeze your pelvic floor. And then you're gonna release your belly, and then you release your pelvic floor. And just breathe. Relax everything in between. Really important that you relax everything so that you don't go around with having these extra tension, because that doesn't do you any good. It makes your muscles tired and it makes it hard for them to work in the long run and when you actually need them. And then do that again. Pelvic floor first, tense everything up and like that zipper. And then you draw your belly button in and press it to the floor and hold that for about 10 seconds. Try to breathe normally while doing this. Try to also think about thighs being relaxed and butt being relaxed, because you're only using the pelvic floor muscles and also the belly button. You're thinking about drawing that in. I'm going to show you a exercise where you're standing on all fours. I'm going to try to show you with this shirt. So I'm tucking it in a little bit. We're just going to place our hands under our shoulders and our knees under our hips. And what we're going to do here is just squeeze your pelvic floor first, and then you're doing the same thing. You're trying to draw in your belly button and think as if you're drawing all this like skin that's hanging here, trying to draw that in through your belly button. Important here is for you to keep your back really straight. First, you're going to find this neutral position here and draw your belly in without anything happening right here. So either you can film yourself, have someone check you, or stand in front of a mirror and do this. Because now we're only working with the pelvic floor function and the belly button. We don't want any involvement from the back here, because that's going to make it hard for your belly to work. That's not, I mean, it all works together as the core, but now we're going to work with the belly button and just drawing that in. So you don't want this and you don't want this, but you want this. And you want to stay here while doing this exercise. Just let everything loose. And then you squeeze your pelvic floor, squeeze your belly button, and then you hold for 10 seconds here. Try to breathe normally while doing this, and then you release everything. You start from your belly, and then you release your pelvis or pelvic floor muscles. And just breathe here. Make sure that you actually relax in between, and then do it again. So these are 3 exercises that are really good for you to start with. I suggest that you do them daily, and do like the side lying one, do them 2 on each side, and do the other 2 exercises also 2 times and 1 time each day. If you do this 4 times a week, that's also great, but the more you do it, the better you get at it and the stronger you will build your core. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that you got something out of this and that you follow along on this Strong Mom project. I have a few more episodes coming up. I think it's 3 more. If you want to stay tuned and find out more on how to get in shape after pregnancy and some things to think about, please subscribe to my channel. I also have other types of content. I just started this channel and there's a lot more interesting content coming your way. If you have any questions regarding any of this, please let me know. I will be very happy to help you out. So I will also link the playlist, the Strong Mom Project playlist, down in the comments. So be sure to check that out if you've missed something. Have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye!